To connect or to disconnect? That is the question. Hi, I'm Teja Priyadarshini, founder for Akashic Center for Healing, and today let's talk about reality, the real reality versus virtual reality on social media. I am a big fan of social media, I must admit, because I've been a media person for 11 years. I've worked in the industry. I know how social media works and how powerful it can be. But on the other hand, I'm not such a big fan of social media either, though I'm very active on social media and I have profiles on every known social platform there is. But sometimes I feel that we tend to disconnect ourselves from the real world and spend too much time on the virtual world. It tends to skew our perspective on things. When we look at shiny, bright profile pictures of people, we tend to feel that we're not adequate, that something is wrong with us, that we don't have such charismatic lives or these beautiful places that they visit. We get jealous, a lot of things go on in our minds. So is social media good or is the real life better? That is what we are going to discuss today. Yes, I do agree that the real life has its pros, but it also has its cons, and so does the social media. Social media has brought worlds together in the terms of getting people connected all around the world, making it easier for information to be dispersed, allowing people to reach out and get as much information as they need about anything that is available out there. So in a way, it is good that the internet, the social media platforms have connected all of us around the world in such a beautiful way that we interact with each other on a daily basis using social media and the various apps that smartphones have to offer. But what it's actually doing, in my opinion, is disconnecting us from interacting with people in real life, because when we meet people these days, we hardly spend time getting to know them. We ask them for their social media profiles and check out their online presence to form an opinion about their lives. When they're right in front of us, we tend to avoid having a proper conversation with them and prefer seeing their profile pictures instead. Why is this happening? Why are people unable to connect with the human beings around them in a more meaningful manner, like the way they connect on social media? On social media, people are open about their opinions, they can speak their minds, they don't have any inhibitions about expressing themselves. But in real life, try talking to someone and telling them how vulnerable you are because of something that's happened in your life. You can't do that because you find it very difficult to open up and express yourself when the person is actually sitting across from you than when a person who's on the other side of the screen, because you don't really know them that well, or you don't really have to look into their eyes when you speak to them. It does give us a sense of comfort and also allows us to skew the perspective on things a bit, exaggerate a bit, maybe throw in a bit of white lies here and there. So what it's actually doing is changing who we really are. Rather than presenting to the other person the truth, we're decorating it, we're sprucing it up, we're adding filters and adding all sorts of other things to make sure that we are liked. There's thousands of friends that we have on Facebook or the followers on Twitter, Instagram. Do we even know any of them personally? How many of them do we actually interact with on a personal level? Why do we need to have so many friends? Is it because we look for appreciation or acknowledgement from the outside? Because when we are insecure with our own selves, that is when we look for validation from the world outside of us. So is social media encouraging people to seek validation outside of themselves? It's not healthy as much as we would like to think, because when we see profiles of our friends or strangers on Facebook, Instagram, you name it, We look at it and we think that I want to be able to do all of those things. Why don't I have those things in my life? Why don't I look like that? Maybe I should do something more to look like that. And then everything becomes about the superficial aspects of life, which can cause depression, mania, melodrama, depression even. So why do we emphasize so much importance to the social media or the virtual lives that we live rather than the real lives? When was the last time you looked up from your phone and actually spoke to a stranger when you're waiting at the airport or traveling on a train, or just your neighbor? It's been ages, isn't it? Because we have stopped interacting with human beings like humans. Instead, we're interacting with other human beings as robots or artificial intelligence that is on all of these apps. So why do we do that? Is there something wrong with our society? Is it that we give too much importance to our narcissistic qualities, that we encourage people to be fake? We like pictures, we tweet about things that we hardly understand. We aspire to be those role models, our virtual role models, and sometimes we end up messing up our lives. Is social media as important or more important than real life? Well, I beg to differ. In real life, you get to enjoy the small things, feel the touch of a person, listen to their voice, be around them, feel their energy, have fun with them, go to the beach, have a cup of coffee with them, dance in the rain. All of these things cannot be experienced over a virtual medium like social media. So where has all of this gone? As children, we were more open to trying new things, experimenting with things. But now, with so much of technology, even children are so glued to their phones that their brains are actually shrinking rather than expanding. Their consciousness is being restricted because of the data or the information that's available to them. And half of this information we cannot even validate. So how good is social media? What do you think? Real life is better or social media is better? Well, I think a little bit of both, to be honest, but it has to be in healthy doses. Next time we go out to dinner with friends or family, won't it be nice if we can put our phones on silent and put them away in our bags and actually have a conversation to see the person's expressions, their feelings, feel them, hug them, touch them, kiss them, whatever it is, to have the interpersonal relationships that are so valuable to us, instead of just texting somebody on social media. Let me know what you think. Until I see you in my next video on Thursday, bye-bye. Have a wonderful week ahead. I love you guys immensely, and I'm very, very grateful to be making these videos for you. Bye.